Hey everyone, welcome back. So I wanted to give you a quick update as far as what I'm using for December as far as my planner goes. If you've been watching the last few videos, you'll notice that I've changed back into a traveler's notebook again. I've switched to using electronic tracking for my work to-dos just because of how quickly things are coming at me and the fact that I'm getting them all electronically, so rather than converting them from electronic to paper, I'm using OmniFocus. I think I talked a little bit about that in my last video, but what I was finding is I wasn't really using that 2-page per day. So I'm actually kind of in a little bit of a transition mode with this for a couple reasons. One, I've ordered a new planner cover. I like the Vanderspec covers. That's what this is. It's a Vanderspec Nomad, kind of the standard Nomad format. But if you've watched any of Ink Imperfections videos, she has a custom that has a strap, and I much prefer the little straps rather than the elastics. So I have placed an order for that. It usually takes a couple months to get those. I pretty much ordered the same thing as what she has, which is essentially the same leather. The only thing I did is I widened it 10 millimeters on each side. So I widened it a little bit so that my tabs wouldn't stick out. And it may not be an issue because one of my inserts I'll show you is actually fairly thick, and I'm going to switch in January, so, but anyway, let's get into what I have in here. I actually kind of kept the same format as what I had previously, as far as kind of the order that things go in. Don't have too much here in the front. There's a pocket here, a couple card slots, and a couple pockets. I have these clear plastic ID cards, and I just throw a little pad of sticky notes on those and keep them tucked in, so I have sticky notes if I want them. This first section is my monthly section. Looks kind of similar to what I had before. These are the inserts from my shop on Etsy, which is linked down below. But essentially, take this off. All it is I have a December master task list, then I have the month, and then I have kind of an index. So things that were important that happened this month, I have a place to write those down. Just so it flips straight to, I just have an ollie clip in the front. It kind of keeps everything together, even though I have stuff sliding around in the pocket up here. And these tabs are actually from Cocoa Daisy, which is where a lot of my deco is from. But I do have the tabs on these file index post-it note things, so they are removable and I can move them around. Actually, let me grab them for you really quick so you can see what they look like. So these are what I'm using here. The post-it tabs, they're 2 inches by 1.5 inches. One side is kind of like a whitish color and the other side is clear, and I just use double-sided adhesive tape to stick the tabs on there, and that way I can move them around fairly easily. Okay, so that's pretty much how everything is set up. I've gone through and added in stickers for holidays, and this is actually the NASCAR schedule for next year, and I have travel put in. So that's pretty much all the way through the end of the year for 2020. So that's my first section. Sticky notes that are not sticking. The next section is the daily to-do list / tracker. This was something that Ink Imperfections actually had also designed, and Paper and Cats is the one that actually sells these. So this is the same one as I was using before. You can see I went from September to December. I'm not too worried about thickness at the moment, so I just went ahead and left it all put together. So this is where, if you want to say, my planner kind of goes a little bit off the rails and does something different. So what I am hoping to do is go into more of a bullet journal style, but the insert that I had was actually a week size because that's what I was using before. So it's slightly smaller. What I used to do was tuck it in here, but I wanted to actually have something permanently attached and an actual like size, but onto my river paper, but I didn't want to fool with that. So I ordered that from Paper Penguin Co. It's actually supposed to be in today. but it got delayed and I didn't know when I was going to get it, and I was able to get a Designs by Planner Perfect insert. She had a few that were like pre-made, ready to ship, and so I went ahead and ordered one of those and got it like on December 2nd. So I have not completely filled it out yet. I don't know that I'm actually going to use the monthly section up front. And I will go back and put my goals in, but I have gone ahead and started filling things out. So she did put half of the week in, since December 1st was on a Sunday. I back planned just a couple of days, because actually this was when I was in Illinois. On this page, I went ahead and put my winter bucket list. These stickers are a combination of the Cocoa Daisy ones and also some Chrissy Ann Design stickers that I found at Michael's. Those were a part of more of a calendar-ish type of set. So if you have not seen her books, let me just show you kind of, I have a few stickers stuck in on here, but what it is you have a week on 2 pages, and then it's followed by a bunch of blank pages. And if I'm not mistaken, I think there is enough to do a day on 2 pages in between each week. So because I don't need that much space, I'll show you what I am doing. So this was kind of the week that I have. Mainly I'm just putting down like major events and things that I need to do. I pulled a couple of stickers out of the Cocoa Daisy kit. This is just kind of my cleaning checklist, like what I do each day of the week. And these items correspond mostly with what's on my tending list. But I've added one of my dog's eye medicines. Just because I've been in and out of town so much, I don't have time to establish the habit of actually getting his eye medicine to him every single day. So I'm going to rely on a checklist to do that. This was a quickly scribbled menu plan for this week. And then the weekly compass cards. I'm not quite ready to give these up yet necessarily. I might. But I went ahead and just tipped both of those in. So what I am doing is basically 1 page per day. So it's a combination of to-dos, what my appointments are, journaling, and all of that kind of information. So if I journal and put something in that kind of triggers something I need to follow up on, I do put an asterisk next to it, thinking that when I go to do my weekly review, I will look for those. So this is today. The other thing I've done is I ordered a set of her tip-ins, and I just washi taped another Cocoa Daisy tab to the top of this. I mean, I suppose I could attach it to this, but I think when I was doing this, I didn't have those handy. So this is kind of my bookmarks. I can find my spot. And I'm trying to use up some of my stickers. I'm not normally a sticker person, but if I have them nearby and I have some that fit, I'm trying to put them in. So, and then for the rest of the week, usually what I'm doing is I'm just setting up, obviously, I go ahead and put 2 tasks on every single day, wake up by, and then morning routine. Now, the night before, I figure out what time of the day I need to wake up the next day based on what's going on. But I always want to do my morning routine in the morning. So I have that. I'm actually traveling again on Saturday, and because I'm going to be back in Dallas again, it was like I don't really need a page per day for this. So I went ahead and just left it. With Saturday and Sunday on the same, which I may continue to do that because usually what ends up happening is I end up sharing a to-do list between the 2 days. So I don't know. We'll play with that and see. So the next thing I have is my social media spread. I'm kind of tracking things I need to do here, and then because I am trying to be better about income and expenses and tracking that, I'm keeping that over here. So I have a column for credits, column for debits. You can tell I'm an accounting person. The next one is trip plans. I'm only there 4 days, so it doesn't worth it for me to go ahead and print out a whole set of the travel plans inserts, which I could do, and if I do, I can tuck it in here. But I just have like my confirmation number when I'm traveling. I'll throw to-dos in here for things I need to do before I leave, just so I don't forget what all I need to do. I next have a currently section. I don't normally keep these, but I thought it might be kind of fun just because of the season. And I'm trying to focus a little bit more on self-care, and this Christmas is a little different because Gary's in a different state until right before Christmas. So it's, I don't know, I'm trying to, I don't know, see how the season goes when I'm kind of by myself. So trying new things, doing new stuff, just to kind of keep myself entertained, I guess, for lack of a better word. So I have back here a list of currently prompts of things I might rotate through. So I picked 4 that I thought were kind of interesting for this week. So currently listening to my Advent and Christmas playlists on Spotify. Currently eating mini peppermint meringues from Trader Joe's. Those things are so addicting, and it's a good thing they don't have many calories because I can't stop eating them. I am currently creating a December daily traveler's notebook. I've tried to do the big album thing before, and it hasn't really worked out. So I got the Simple Dory, well, actually it's the memory keeping traveler's notebook kit from Cocoa Daisy. So I went ahead and am basically making this my December daily. So I did kind of start to decorate a little bit. That's all I've done so far. But the other thing I have that I found is my Instax, which I got last year for Christmas. So I've dragged it back out again so I can print some photos off my phone. But December 1st, we did Thanksgiving at my mom's house. So I baked a pie, and that was also when I put my Christmas tree up. And when I say I put my Christmas tree up, that's literally all I did. I am not planning to decorate it this year because we're not actually going to be at my house for Christmas. We're going to be at my mom's house. So I don't want to have to take all the stuff down again. And based on how many needles the fake tree is losing, along with bits and pieces of the limbs, it's probably not going to be put back in the garage. We may need to just toss it. It's actually quite old and evidently reaching the end of its useful life. So anyway, I did take pictures of the tree and the pie that I made, so I'll put those here. And then on days that I don't really have much because I went to work, that's it, I plan to fill in with other stuff. So like a printout of the playlist that I've been listening to. So things that kind of tie in with this. So that's how I'm kind of being creative during the Christmas season and keeping track of stuff. And then remembering my dog who passed away last year, right about this time. So bittersweet time of the year. And then the next page I just have next week, so things I need to remember for next week. Items needed, this is just kind of a really random running shopping list. Everything from brown sugar to windshield wipers to toilet paper to shoe inserts for my dance shoes. So very random, but it's just kind of a catch-all place so it doesn't get kind of mixed up in the daily pages. And then that's all the pages, and I move to the next week. So this is my initial setup, and I may go ahead and do the same thing for next week and see how it goes. But like I said, this is kind of only a temporary situation because I do still really want to use that just kind of blank, more bullet journal-y type insert. So that way, if I don't have something going on that's an entire day, I don't have to worry about it. The next section here is my goal setting inserts. Now, this is basically for next year. I didn't bother printing a set of these out for Q4. For the traveler's notebook size, it's basically, and you have to excuse my horrible trimming. I need to figure out a better way to trim these. I have a rotary trimmer that just eats at the edges of the pages, but anyway. So the traveler's notebooks, it's basically a quarter per book. And then at the beginning of each book, the annual overview repeats. So that way, if you want to go ahead and bring that stuff forward, you can. So annual overview, Q1, January, and then we have the weeks, 5 weeks, and then February, and then 5 weeks, and then March, and then that's the end of the booklet. So I will be transferring everything over from my power sheets here shortly. So it's kind of set up and ready to go for 2020. The next section I have is my reference section. This basically, it's the same information. I just keep changing it to different sizes. Obviously, I'll need to reprint it with my 2020 goals when I get to that point, but I have my values, goals, prioritizing questions, pre-trip preparation, post-trip reset, which this was really helpful after being gone for 2 weeks, master task list, weekly routine, home and work routines, which these have changed a little bit, all of the different review checklists. I have between the paper-clipped sections, my budget, and then a phone list for everybody at the office, and then my rule of life. And then all the way in the back, since this is the only size I have this in, my 5-year planner has made a reappearance. This is the same one that I was using before. So that is that. In the back here, that currently prompts, which is actually a small little chunk of paper in case I need it. I have an extra weekly compass thing, and then a piece of paper I need to do something with. So that is that setup right now. Put this back on. So the other planner that I'm using is actually a self-care planner. So that's kind of one of my 2020 goals, is paying attention to self-care, because when I don't, I'm horrible at it. My life kind of gets unbalanced, and so I'm going to be focusing on it. So if you remember back, I want to say it was October, I think, I was using the Erin Condren self-care planner. I really liked the idea. I didn't really care for all of the blanks and things. So what I ended up doing was getting a Hobonichi Weeks. And so this will actually be my self-care planner for 2020. So essentially how I have this set up, and I don't know, it's written in pencil, so I can erase it. So I don't know if you'll be able to see it. So essentially I'm drawing a line. There's 2 little dots here, so you can kind of divide things up. So the first column I'm going to have is basically my mood for the day. It'll be good because it'll help keep me track of when I'm really tired, when I have headaches, that sort of thing. Usually I think my headaches are sinus headaches, but I like to be able to kind of relate what's going on to other things. I'll have a section for either gratitude or affirmation. There's a very slightly darker, I think it's actually just solid instead of dotted, line here. So in this section, I'll keep track of the number of hours that I'm sleeping, and then sleep quality score, which is assigned by the app that I use on my phone. It's based on deep sleep, like the amount of deep sleep, what your heart rate is when you wake up, and some other stuff too, like how many times you woke up. So I'll track that there, and then I have a section here for today's self-care. So things I'm doing on purpose to take care of myself. So I kind of came up with this layout after I started using it, so that's fine. The first few weeks I'm going to be trying to figure out how I want to work on it. So for Monday, I just wrote both things in, and then I realized it'd be nice to have it divided out. So again, sleep score, self-care for the day, and it's everything from eating healthy food for the day, getting regrouped at work, remembering to bring toilet paper and paper towels in from the garage, which is not attached to our house, before I ran out, not after, like that sort of thing. It's just things that I do to be nice to myself, or to be nice to my future self. So that is the plan for this little book. And when I travel, if I don't have a lot of room, I can pull it out of the cover and just take the little tiny book with me. So it'll be easy to kind of drop that into my bag. So yeah, so that is my planner situation for December. As far as what I'm doing for quiet time, I'm using a Write the Word journal, and I'm just about finished with it. I started with joy, and it's lasted me a little under 3 months. There's a portion of time where I didn't take it with me because I was traveling. I didn't have room for it. But that's kind of what I've been using. And I got that from the Cultivate What Matters store, which is the same group that sells the power sheets, if you're interested in those. And I'll actually leave a link down below. I actually signed up to be an affiliate with them. I have not done anything with it just because of life and busyness, but just so you're aware, I think you get a discount if you haven't bought stuff from them before. So I will put that link in the description down below. Anyway, hopefully that was helpful. I had started, let me show you. At one point I was going to use like a little Recollections Christmas something, and I just didn't really have the energy to deal with it. So anything that I want to track or keep track of will actually be in here in kind of just a random tucked in place, which is part of the reason I think I want to go to the bullet journal, because then I can kind of just create like a collection. So probably the only thing that I still want to figure out how to do is to put a reference notebook in here. I mean, I have a reference section, but there are a few of these pages that do change. Obviously the goals change, the budget changes periodically, as do the phone numbers. So I want to try and figure out how I can get kind of like a notebook of stuff where I can kind of keep notes and collections, as well as reference pages that don't change or change very infrequently, and be able to have kind of all of that together. So I think that's probably the last question that I have for my setup that I will figure out. But other than that, I really like being in a traveler's notebook. So you may be seeing me in one of these for a while. As usual, the covers might change, but maybe the inserts here and there, but I don't know. I feel like this is a season of life that I'm in. I hope that was helpful. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I'd be interested to hear kind of your feelings. Have you found kind of a planner piece for the season that you're in? Do you know what you're doing for 2020 yet? I know that's been a big topic for a lot of people, is what's their planner going to be for 2020? I've tried to avoid as much as possible buying things that I'm not going to use. Probably the only planner that I bought a pink cover of this because this cover was not available. And then it was, and so I will probably do something else with that, whether I'll give it to somebody else or what, I don't know. But anyway, I did not buy an Erin Condren this year. Pretty much I have this, I have my power sheets, and the Hobonichi Weeks. And that's what I'm working out of right now. So, planner piece for now. Anyway, if you haven't already, please subscribe. I will see you in the next video. Thanks, bye.